Laboratory.
Soil and Plant Testing Laboratory.
Entomology Laboratory. Aquatic Laboratory. Biotechnology Laboratory. Air and Water Testing Laboratory. Herbarium.
Earth is faced with environmental losses and damages, plant pests and diseases, breaking of the food chains, floods, and long droughts. Within our journey of more than 50 years, Simio Biotrop is committed to consistently and continuously maintain its contribution and supports in sustainably managing and conserving the biodiversity and environment in Southeast Asia. We have great dreams, strong hopes, knowledge and capabilities to fulfill our vision. We have prominent extraordinary expertise to be the legacy for the future generation.
Regional Center for Tropical Biology is one of 26 regional centers under the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization, SIMIO, located in Bogor, West Java, Indonesia. SIMIO Biotrop, that was established on the 6th of February 1968, aims to promote regional cooperation to address tropical biology issues in the Southeast Asia.
International webinar today, and in accordance to the agenda, we will start the webinar on 9 a.m. at Jakarta time. Thank you. And before starting our official opening program, may we inform you the following information. As we are organizing the event in hybrid mechanism, may we have cooperation of the participant in this meeting room to put your mobile phone at silent mode. And for the participant in the virtual room, we would appreciate it if you could turn on your camera and put the microphone at mute. Thank you.
Disiplin.
For the participant in the virtual room who joined in Zoom platform, we would appreciate it if you could turn on your camera and put the microphone at mute. Thank you, and now ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony of webinar commence. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Governing Board members, respected the Director of SIMIO Biotrop, the Dean of Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Sciences IPB University, Board of Director and staff of SIMIO Centers Indonesia, invited speakers, moderators, and registered participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, allow me to welcome all of you and express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to your presence in the opening ceremony of the international webinar, Biodiversity Education Strategic Plan to Enhance Marine Awareness. I'm Alia and I will be your master ceremony in this morning. So ladies and gentlemen, as our first item in the opening ceremony agenda, may we present the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. Please rise. colors.
It's time to open our eyes to a bright and promising future. We'll rise to the call of the times and create a stronger tomorrow. Let's start to make a difference, teaching everyone to learn through science, health, and technology. We will share our expertise by promoting knowledge and policies. We can build a better world. Let us take a step for a vicious hope, making future best for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dreams. Here at Symio, building the future is our legacy. We'll achieve our goals through partnership, creating opportunities. By working hand in hand, we can accomplish all our dreams. For a better quality of life is now within our reach. Let us take a step for our visions of hope, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dreams. Here at Symio, building the future is our legacy. Let us take a step for our visions of hope, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dreams. Here at Symio, building the future is our legacy. Building the future is our legacy. At Symio,
Hymn IPB University.
But
Thank you. Kindly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may we continue our opening program with the welcoming remarks of the Director of Simio Biotrop, Dr. Zulhamsyah Imran. Please.
Ya, thank you Alia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, very good morning. Ya, the Honorable GB member of the Simio Biotrop, Dean of Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, Professor Dr. Ferdinand Yulianda, distinguished Deputy Director for Administration, Dr. Ferdinand, also the similar names, and then the respected inviting resource person today, Professor Leo, and also Professor Dr. Ferdinand Yulianda, participant, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, today we will have the international webinar, about the marine biodiversity. Marine biodiversity. As we know that, this topic is really interesting for us. Because around the world is still depend on the biodiversity, including the marine biodiversity. Marine biodiversity will be supply services not only for the food, but also for how to protect our life in the future, for this generation and the future generation. So today, we know that almost around the world we lose the biodiversity at least 69%. Indonesia itself, will be we lose of the biodiversity around 72%. So today we discuss a lot about the biodiversity. We know that the increasing pressure by the climate crisis. One factor is really interesting to increase our pay attention. So we know that not only the climate crisis. Another factor, anthropogenic factor. Including our activity. Human activity can be cause of the biodiversity loss. So today we should together, not only in Indonesia but around the world, we try to save our biodiversity from mountain to the ocean, from the highland to the lowland. We know that we need to increase our awareness, how to save our biodiversity today. So today we will have at least 2 resource person. One come from the Hiroshima University. I know well, Professor Lauren Low is one of the professor is really concerned on the seaweed. Of course, the natural resources come from the ocean, coastal. So he will deliver a little bit about the strategic and how to increase our awareness about to save the biodiversity. And then the second resource person, we will have the Professor Ferdinand Yulianda. He really concerned on the conservation field, how to save the marine biodiversity in Indonesia. So today, he tried to combine and integrate a little bit about the conservation of the marine biodiversity, and little bit will be delivered about the blue economic. We know that the blue economic is also the one hot issue. Already discussed, have discussion around the world, including Indonesia. We know that maybe to participant today that attend directly offline. I do hope you can take the benefits for this international webinar. This event organized collaboration with me, Simio Biotrop, and also the faculties of the Fisheries and Marine Science. So I would like to invite Professor Ferdinand a little bit deliver his opening remark and also open this event. So I do hope that today we can enjoy our international webinar. It's one event also for Simio Biotrop to provide to the participant route to the international conference for the tropical biodiversity. So please enjoy our international webinar. And I would like to thank to all of you, especially for Alia, to organize this event to become true. Yeah. And then to moderators, participant, and resource person. So enjoy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Zul. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we invite the Dean of Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Sciences, IPB University, Professor Ferdinand Yulianda. Please, Prof.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So is my voice is clear? Is enough? Yeah?
Clear, Pak.
Okay, yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, the Honorable Director of Semio Biotrop, yeah, my friend Dr. Zuhamsa, and also the speaker, keynote speaker, Professor Lawrence Liu, yeah, and also all the participants of international webinar. Yeah. As Zulham said, the biodiversity is very important for the marine living. Yeah. So I'd like to share, yeah, about our marine conservation knowledge. Yeah. Actually, I apologize for only attending until 9:50 because I had just landed in Seoul, and just a few minutes I've arrived at Seoul National University home. So I have only the time about 1 hour. So I have to finish 9:50 because at 10 o'clock there is another SNU agenda this campus. Yeah. So I continue all my presentation, or just only the speech, Mr. Ceremony, Pak Julhan.
Just please state this international webinar is open, Pak Dekan. Please state. Yeah.
Sorry, your voice is.
Yeah. Just yeah. We will continue after this opening ceremony. Maybe you have to present your presentation,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Pak Johan. There is a good cooperation between Semio Biotrop and Faculty of Fisheries Marine Science in order to the flow of biodiversity science, included management. So we hope from our international webinar will come up with some recommendation how to save our marine life, how to manage our marine biodiversity. Thank you for arrangement, from CMO Biotrop. Hopefully all the participants can enjoy with this seminar or webinar. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, now may we have invite our moderator for today. That would be Dr. Zulham Shah Imran, PhD at Hiroshima University, expert in environmental and social impact assessment report Asia, Blue Carbon Consortium, the lecturer at Faculty of Fisheries Marine.
Okay, thank you everybody. Yes, we will start as soon. Yeah, we have today our twin moderator, but I would like to deliver this opportunity to Dr. Slamet Widodo. Yeah, please lead this first and second session.
Thank you, Pak Direktur. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Everyone, Honorable Pak Director Xiaomi Biotrop, Dr. Zul Hamsa Imran, Deputy Director of Xiaomi Biotrop, Dr. Ferdinand, Prof. Ferdinand Yulianda as our resource person today. Actually, the schedule is will be started. The first presenter will be Dr. Liam, but maybe we will be switched, and the first presenter will be presented of the Professor Ferdinand Julianda. For the time effectively, just I give the time for the Professor Ferdinand. Please, time is your, Prof.
Okay, thank you Pak Slamet ya. Can I share my slides? Okay. Yeah. Anybody can see that?
Yes, it's very clear. Just please do slide so present, Prof.
Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would like to introduce my name is Ferdinand Yulianda, as Pak Zulham introduced me in the beginning of open ceremony. I would like to talk something for our discussion on the topic biodiversity, blue economy for marine ecotourism. Yeah. There are two variables that I will discuss. Yeah. Namely, the first is biodiversity. Yeah. This is of course related to the existence and diversity of marine natural resources, yeah, both living and non-living. Indonesia is an archipelagic country which has 16,671 islands. Most of them are small islands. If we look at this picture, yeah, more than I think 98% is almost the small islands. Yeah. Each island has high biodiversity, yeah, both on the coastal line or also the coastal area and the sea. So we see the islands are always surrounded by shallow water, and there are at least three important ecosystems such as a mangrove ecosystem, seagrass, and coral reef ecosystem. Okay. The distribution of three ecosystems is almost evenly distributed throughout the islands. Each area, we know that the coral reef occupy the 2.5 million hectare, and seagrass 1.7 million hectare, and the mangrove ecosystem is 3.4 million hectare. Yeah, the almost the coral reef area in Indonesia is contributes 14% of the coral reef, world coral reef. Yeah, unfortunately, the condition of the coral in Indonesia, we look at this picture, has experienced a lot of disturbance and damage. Several activities on land and at sea are still not well integrated, so that they still cause disturbance to the biodiversity of the resources. So about 71.2% of Indonesian 2.5 million hectare of coral reef are still in the bad or damaged category. So this condition is not good for us, because Indonesian coral reef make a major contribution to the world's coral reef. Indonesian coral reef contribute 39% of the world's species of reef fish. 14% of the area coral reef in Indonesia, and 569 species of coral from to 750 of the world species of coral. The condition of the coral reef resources is great potential for the development of marine ecotourism in Indonesia. This line with the blue economy concept, namely sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improve livelihood and jobs while preserving the health of ocean ecosystem. And also all economic activities related to ocean, seas and coasts. Economy that comprise a range of economic sectors and related policies that together determine whether the use of ocean resources is sustainable. And the last, the concept of blue economy talk about the marine ecology as commander and achieve for economic and social use. The sustainability of the blue economy is largely determined by the sustainability of natural resources. Therefore, effort to maintain and protect natural resources are very important. There are three objectives biodiversity conservation, namely to maintaining the existing ecological processing in nature. The second, how to optimize the functional and extent to the ecosystem. And the last is the purpose of conservation is sustainable use based on the carrying capacity. So if we look at the philosophy of conservation, there is actually no conflict between economic and conservation. Conservation philosophy talk about the balance between life and death, utilization and the ability of nature to utilize or what we are known as carrying capacity. The balance of natural resources will ensure the economic sustainability. If we look at the human activities that have the potential to damage natural resources, and conservation limits the use of activities to the extent that they do not damage natural resources and repair the damage that has already occurred. So the conservation, we like to say that conservation has a very important contribution for our things, namely as the spillover function to give more benefit for fishing activity by fish moving outside of the protected area, and this overflow may contribute to nearby fisheries. At least within 10 kilometers or more. And the second, the contribution conservation is to maintain the biodiversity and protect from the damage from human activity. And the third, environmental service and ecotourism. And also contribution have the function, the social economic, for the the community that lives surrounding the area of conservation. Okay, given the importance of contribution of conservation to economic growth, the application of the concept biodiversity conservation is not only limited to conservation area, but the concept of resources conservation should also be applied outside marine protected area or coastal and marine waters in general. The component that must be considered for the sustainable use of coastal and marine resources are the resources themselves, information about the resources, their management, regulation, integration of management, and socioeconomic. The ultimate goal of management is economic income this year. And community welfare, of course. If you look at this, the management cycle, the natural resources are the main capital in management. After that, follow it by how to manage the data, how to manage utilization, institutional budget, and something, and also regulation, how to integrate all the various interests in the coastal and marine area, so that the resources can keep the sustainability. In order to maintain the sustainability of economic, we must ensure sustainable resources. Resources sustainability can only be achieved with the conservation approach. However, the problem of biodiversity is a matter of space. The seawater space is an open access area. As long as seawater move according to the ecological and oceanological characteristic. Meanwhile, space based on activity is often divided separately, so that the impact of each activity causes harm to the life of marine natural resources, both living and non-living. Therefore, the integrated coastal and marine resources management system is needed. The first thing is, of course, related to the identification of the character and potential of natural resources that can be utilized to ensure the sustainability of resources and the environment, carrying capacity that can be utilized, spatial capacity that can be utilized, as well as spatial planning based on natural resources. The second, the policy making by considering the character and business license law enforcement is very important for Indonesian atmosphere. The third is integrated spatial planning and management to ensure and regulate coordination, integration, synergy, and prevent overlapping of space usage. And the last or the fourth of integrated system is controlling of natural utilization, environment, which include impact control, monitoring, and evaluation. So actually, the concept of conservation is very relevant to the concept of the blue economy, which put forward the concept of conserving resources, minimizing damage, and pollution, saving energy. So that the marine protection strategy in the context of the blue economy place the biosphere as a habitat, as a foundation of life and source of life that support the community in carrying out its economic activity, of course, so that it is efficient, effective, and sustainable. So many experts have explained that the economic dependence on natural resources places the position of resources very important in the concept of blue economic through keeping the ocean. Yeah. Several economic benefits from the utilization of marine natural resources, which can be calculated, require that we have careful planning in managing these natural resources. One of which is marine ecotourism. Tourism itself, based on the object and form of management, is distinguished between wildlife tourism, natural-based tourism, and natural area tourism, and also tourism itself. There is a difference between sustainable tourism and also ecotourism. Yeah. Sustainable tourism focuses more on the sustainability of tourism management in terms of its activities, while ecotourism focuses more on sustainability of natural resources as objects and tourist satisfaction. There are two things that must be achieved in the concept of ecotourism, namely visitor satisfaction. Not only visitor, but also natural should have this satisfaction. Satisfaction of natural resources as tourist object. Indicator of visitor satisfaction and natural beauty, high biodiversity, and blending with nature. While the satisfaction of natural resources is obtained through the concept of conservation, so that natural resources are not disturbed, continue to grow well and sustainably. One more thing found in the ecotourism concept is the educational benefit for visitors in the form of knowledge about the natural resources and allow for protecting natural resources. The fundamental thing in the ecotourism management concept is to keep the value of the object natural. The use remains sustainable so that it can provide sustainable economic benefit. The sustainability of ecotourism is ensured by the carrying capacity, which maintain two variables, namely limiting visitor and preventing damage to natural object. This requires full management approach. Namely resources management, infrastructure management, visitor management, and marketing management. Ecotourism carrying capacity was based on natural resources as tourism objects and activities. For example, if we look at this island, there is a small island surrounding by a large expanse of reef. So the calculation of the carrying capacity does not consider the area of the island, yeah, but the area of the object. In this case, of the area of coral reef, shelf, yeah, and the length of the coastal line. This is one of the calculation of the carrying capacity of diving and snorkeling tourism in the Thousand Island Marine National Park in the Kepulauan Seribu. The pink color is an area for snorkeling activities with the carrying capacity of 3,422 people per day to trip snorkeling activity. While the green one is an area for diving activity with a carrying capacity 3,034 people per day for trip. Now we look at the relationship between natural resources and economic growth. In general theory, every economic action risks damage or degradation of natural resources. You can see that, so that the curve of the relation between economic growth and resources is negative linear. This is very dangerous for the sustainability of natural resources. So we have to do something about this. So to avoid a continuous decline in natural resources, the most important thing is utilization by considering carrying capacity. Actually, natural has resilience and the ability to recover after natural resources experience a decrease or damage with a certain interval. It's known as carrying capacity. We look at this, the line or move, yeah. This means that if we use natural resources wisely, and do not exceed the carrying capacity, yeah, nature will try to return, yeah, to normal as shown by the curve, yeah, will close to the carrying capacity line, which will approach, yeah, with the carrying capacity line. However, yeah, it is dangerous resources, yeah, if the utilization exceed, yeah, over the carrying capacity, then the reduction in resources that is too extreme cannot return to its original carrying capacity. So the carrying capacity go down. Yeah, like this. Yeah. If this continue to happen, the natural resources will run out and there will be no more utilization. So our conclusion is to maintain biodiversity. Please take advantage of it, but don't exceed nature's ability to recover. so that we will get economic benefit from the continuous existence of resources. I think that's all that I can tell you about the biodiversity for marine ecotourism. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Big applause for Professor Ferdinand Yulianda. It's very interesting presentation, Prof. It's possible if we have the maybe 2 or 3 questions. Do you have still have time, Prof?
Yeah, I have 7 minutes. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Maybe for 2 questions, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Just please, if the audience, if you have the question directly to Professor Ferdinand Yulianda about what he has presented about the marine conservation, just please, maybe you can raise hand or just open your mic and just please to raise the question. Any question?
So Sulastri.
Yeah, from Sulastri Handini. Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, sir. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the presentations and excellent presentations. My name is Sulastri Handini. I am a student in Pajajaran University, majoring in fisheries. So maybe we have some background.
Okay.
And I have questions related into the conservations of coral reef ecosystem. So 2 years ago, I'm joining the webinar talking about the coral reef insurance policy. What do you think about the policy? Is it possible to implement the same policy in Indonesia or not? And is it a part of blue economy mechanism or it's different? Thank you.
Okay, Bu Sulastri, this you mean the policy or pollution?
Maybe policy, maybe. Prof.
Policy, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, what the kind of policy that you mean that?
Ms. Sulastri, you can hear what Prof. Ferdinand says.
Yeah.
Bu Sulastri, can you hear me?
About the policy for the conservation for the coral reef, Professor Ferdinand, maybe you can explore more about the what kind of the policy maybe from the government of Indonesia to protect our coral reef.
Bu, okay. Bu Sulastri cannot open the mic, I think, because can community have open the?
Yeah. Mas Indra, can you open the mic of the Bu Sulastri?
Okay, test.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the policy is about the coral reef insurance that have been implemented in the United States. What do you think about that? Is it possible to implement that the same policy in Indonesia?
Oh, you mean the policy from America? It's not from Indonesia?
Yeah, the coral reef insurance.
Yeah, I think this policy is good for the sustainable coral reef in Indonesia. Yeah. We don't have the regulation of specific policy about this kind of insurance of coral reef. Yeah. So on the other hand, we have another regulation to protect the coral reef by using the protected the area through the conservation area by government. but I think it's not effective Indonesia. If we look at the several conservation areas still get this some activities can that's potential to damage the coral reef. It's why the indicator is how much the percentage of coral reef life in this conservation area. Yeah.
It's very clear, Ms. Sulastri. Okay. Maybe we have one question again because Prof. Ferdinand, there are another agenda. Maybe he should be leave our meeting. Just please. Yeah, this is there are this like the opinion, right, from the Maritime and MTM Ship Management Singapore. So maybe you can yeah, she or he being involved in the promoting new technology to reduce the GHG emission and the ocean pollution. I am most concerned with the uncontrolled pollution activity. We all know that the most damaging effect to the coral reefs comes from the uncontrolled pollution from human activity related to the maritime, and such as the GHG emission and the overboard discharge, such as the waste oils, and the land and base polluting like a plastic activity. Plastic activity and talk being taken to try and enforce existing protective regulation and the introduce new legislation were needed to make an actual measurable difference. That goes beyond discussion. Just please, maybe this is like the suggestion from he. Just please, Prof. Ferdinand, maybe about you can have the little comment, please.
Okay. Thank you for whose name there, Prasant, yeah, from Technical Director and MT Maritime, yeah, MTM Ship Management Singapore. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Yeah, in Indonesia, we have a lot of problem with the environmental pollution in India, especially from the waste, and also the main of waste is plastic in India. Yeah, the problem of the coral reef management cannot be solved by ourselves, yeah, from the conservation, because the conservation is only part of our marine area in Indonesia. So we have to talk the top leader, yeah, who make the policy to keep the especially for coral reef area, yeah, to avoid the pollution and the waste. Yeah. Our weakness regulation, and Indonesia still partial. It's not integrated yet. Yeah, or from one regulation to another regulations. Yeah. For example, if we talk about the coral reef, we have what do you call it, a national regulation only for the coral reef. There we have another regulation about the coastal and marine from another various interests or various sector, with the role is do not consider the coral reef, only consider the object that they manage. For example, if we talk about the mining, so sometimes we just think about the mining without considering the coral reef, yeah. And also for the waste management in the coastal area or island. Now, so we have to try hardly to how to integrate the regulation and make the power for saving the coral reef. Yeah. Thank you. Your question is, I will put the important notes here to discuss with another policy maker in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ferdinand. It's very, very interesting. Maybe still one question is okay, Prof?
Yeah.
Your time is
One short question is okay.
okay. Question. Yeah, just from the offline room, just please. Quick. Yeah.
Cek. Cek satu dua. Cek satu dua. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Andiva Nugraha Putra from internship in MSIB for batch 4 in Semio Biotrop. I'm from University of Lambung Mangkurat from South Kalimantan. I want to ask question to Prof. Ferdinand. In sort of case, there's a lot of, in Indonesia, there are several locations that have mangrove or other marine areas with low human resources. And actually, the ecotourism has been identified as a potential way to provide economical benefits to the local communities on this area. But the problem is, in sort of areas, there is a lack of human resources, which is in our what our scene as a student. The people in this area, like the fishermen or the local people, have no really idea about the how to properly build a community of ecotourism in this area. My question is, what are some effective strategies and best practices that can be employed to properly implement ecotourism in especially mangrove or other marine objects in the limited human resource area? Because in the real case, in my location in South Kalimantan, there's really limited human resources about this. So
Okay.
how can the unique?
Is enough? It's because it's very long, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just please, Professor.
The
Yeah,
point
I'm
is,
sorry because Professor should be leave this meeting. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just please, Professor. Maybe you
Okay.
can get the questions about.
Yeah, I'll catch up the question from Putra, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think there are three strategy to prepare, yeah, to run the properly ecotourism activities in Indonesia. First, yeah, we need the strong regulation, strong policy to to give the local people, the community involved with the ecotourism business in Indonesia. And the second, so we have to ask the big investor or a big company in ecotourism business to involve, yeah, to the local community in the ecotourism, their ecotourism business. No, there is no spirit between the company with and the local community. And the last or the third, we have to prepare the good human resources through the training activity and give the, what we call it, finance or basics finance to build the ecotourism business for the local community. So it's why the local community will keep the marine resources because they think that the resources is needed by them for the economic activity. The key is how to connectivity between the resources and economic. So the local community will get benefit from the resources. Is the key of to build the ecotourism action in Indonesia. That's all.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Ferdinand. A big applause again for Prof. Ferdinand Julianda for his very interesting presentation and discussion. Before you leave, there are the presentation of the certificate for our reading. Just please. Certificate will be given from the Dr. Zulham Saimran to Professor Ferdinand Julianda as our resource person. Thank you very much and big applause.
Thank you.
And just please to open your camera. I would like to capture our photo session with our resource person. And there are some requests from the participant, Prof. If you can share your presentation, I will be really appreciate. Thank you.
Yeah, I will send later. Yeah.
Okay. Just please the operator to capture the picture and photo session. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for Professor Ferdinand Julianda.
Welcome.
As the resource person in this morning. Thank you, and hopefully you will be helped. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mungkin sebelumnya buat teman-teman yang hadir di sini bisa ambil coffee break di belakang sebelum kita mulai narasumber yang kedua.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue for our second presenter today. We will have the Professor Loren Lo. He is the one professor is really famous in Hiroshima University. Because he really concerned on the seaweed. Seaweed biodiversity, and then so on how to save our biodiversity. But today he will deliver his presentation, which entitles biodiversity, perspecting, inclusivity, and science for all. We know that the one increasing issue nowadays how to sustainable use about the bioprospecting. This is really one hot issue nowadays.
Yes, very hot issue.
Very hot issue. We know that we have the mangrove ecosystem. We can use the mangrove not only for the firewood. I mean the fire.
Fireworks.
Fireworks. But also, we know that the something really unique in the mangrove ecosystem can be used for bioprospecting. We can. It will be beneficial for the human. Including for cancer. Including for the cancer. Including for cancer. So not only in the mangrove ecosystem, we need to explore what is the contribution of the seagrass, for example. Seagrass. We know that we also have the couple another ecosystem and another biodiversity such as the seaweed. Seaweed nowadays, I think maybe Professor can a little bit deliver what is the move forward. We know one researcher in the Hiroshima University has already carried out about the how to a certain seaweed can be used for the medicine of the cancer. We thought for the do, I think I would like to invite Professor Lauren Lowe, to present, to deliver his presentation. Maybe this session also will be lead. Please, Dr. Widodo.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zulham Saimran. Yes, just please, Prof. Lawrence Liao to present. Time is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me and can you see my slides?
Very clear, your voice and your presentation has presented.
Terima kasih and good morning to everyone. And my topic will be a very general topic this morning, entitled Biodiversity, Bioprospecting, Inclusivity, and Science for All. First, okay, we will talk about, well, earlier we already talked about biodiversity, and I want to continue by talking about bioprospecting. Bioprospecting comes from the word biological prospecting. And what is that? It is looking for biological resources, living resources, and looking for and using the knowledge mainly for economic and commercial purposes, bioprospecting. So, for example, there are so many plants that are known already to be used as medicine. Okay, I have a list there. There's just a very small part. Many plant parts, roots, leaves, stems, flowers, animal parts, skin, organs of animals, they have been used for many purposes from many years, centuries. In fact, the picture on the right side shows you Egyptian practice of preserving the dead people. They used herbs, other plant chemicals, and animal parts, whatever, for this one. In Indonesia, there is a jamu. It's a traditional Indonesian herbal medicine. I'm sure you are all familiar for this one. It is also popular. It's a folk medicine, and it's inexpensive, accessible to so many people. And the knowledge from the jamu comes from grandfather, grandmother, great-grandmother, long history. So today we are enjoying the benefits of the herbal medicine because of the bioprospecting. So bioprospecting is good. It is making all the knowledge, the resources free for everyone. Okay? Scientists, other individuals, before, many years ago, they don't need any approval. They just go to the forest, they just go to the sea, and collect the samples for medicine and other purposes. It does not negatively affect the interest of the people, the indigenous people, the people living in the forest, for example, or it's not a threat to the biodiversity. Until now, the bioprospecting has been abused. Bioprospecting has been misused of biological resources. So in 1992, the United Nations convened the CBD, or Convention on Biological Diversity, 1992. And during this meeting, after this meeting, the agreement, international agreement, was signed by 198 countries, except USA and other powerful countries. Some of them did not sign. The purpose of the CBD are three. I listed it there. Of course, number one, conservation. Number two, sustainable use of biodiversity and its components. And number three, very important, fair and equitable sharing of the benefits from genetic resources. Because we know that biodiversity contains some useful DNA, useful cellular products, and these benefits should be shared by everyone fairly and equally. These are the three very important objectives. So, as I've said, bioprospecting is legal. It's very nice. It's perfectly legal if the rules of the CBD are strictly followed. However, not all countries, not all individuals, not all people follow the rules. So it becomes illegal, so it becomes biopiracy. So what is biopiracy? It is like stealing of the knowledge, stealing of the resources, okay, without permission and for financial gains, okay? So biopiracy. So biopiracy is taking the knowledge, also knowledge from the traditional community. So you go, for example, one person go to the forest in Kalimantan and then try to spy, try to look for the knowledge and copy the knowledge and use the knowledge without permission of the person who shared the knowledge in the traditional community in Kalimantan, for example. And making millions and millions and millions of income and profit while not paying back to these communities. Okay, so it's like a greediness. So, and then not only that, biopiracy is also when you apply for a patent. What is a patent? Patent is like a license. Okay, it's a piece of paper like this, and you apply and you tell the patent office, hey, I want a patent because this knowledge is new. When in fact, this knowledge is not new. When in fact, this knowledge is stolen from another tribe or another group of people. So many of these biopiracy happen because there is different interpretation of knowledge and research. Okay, so these are some of the general causes. Lack of acknowledgement of contribution of knowledge transmitted from generation to generation. So if you are a person and you go to the forest or you go to the village in, let's say in Java, you interview some people and then you find some new knowledge and then you profit from this knowledge, that is also biopiracy. And ignorance, this is, we discussed this one, ignorance or they don't care, they disregard the CBD. So it becomes a biopiracy. So for example, these are just three of the examples. I think you're familiar with turmeric, kunit, and bitter gourd, pare ayam. And these are available in the market. You can go to any market in Indonesia, in Southeast Asia. You can buy these things easily. But one company before applied for a patent for turmeric. So he applied for a patent because he said, oh, this turmeric has a new use. It can cure this disease, like that, like that. But the knowledge actually comes from the traditional people. But then they try to make some license out of it. Because if you have a license, everybody who buys the turmeric kunit will have to pay some kind of royalty to the license holder. So this was stopped. In India, the government of India was very quick and said, oh, no, 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 you cannot patent, you cannot issue a license for this turmeric because it has been known in our country for thousands of years that this turmeric is really good for our health. So the patent was revoked. It was canceled. So we need to be aware of these things so that we can assert our right. We can protect our natural resources. So bioprospecting could be made very sustainable if we have basic information about species biology. Okay, this is our problem. We don't know what we have. We don't know what are some of the uses of this plant or this animal. So we need to improve our basic research. And this is one of the mission of the Semio Biotrop. Very nice. We have to follow bioprospecting rules. Problem is they are not followed because they are in conflict with the requirements and interests of bioprospectors. Bioprospectors, these are the companies, these are the hired people. All they want is money, 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 money. That is their goal. But then bioprospecting criteria follows sustainability, follows certain rules. So they are in conflict. So we should try to find a way to make the two of them compatible. Another problem is the natural population. When there is bioprospecting, and especially the ones who collect these animals or plants are not scientists, they just collect everything. So they are depleting, they are driving the natural population into extinction. So this is a big problem. So conclusion one, bioprospecting is good. You can make some economic gains through bioprospecting. Some of the local villages, coastal villages, fishing villages, they can benefit. They can get some livelihood. They can get some additional income. It's possible, okay? But you have to manage it well. And then I think another very important thing to follow is that, yes, we can allow the bioprospecting, but we have to have very good rules for collecting. Do not collect too much. Collect only this much. In short, bioprospecting should be regulated. Bioprospecting should not be greedy. It should consider the whole ecosystem. It should consider the whole community. It should consider other things. So typical situation in developing country, and this is true in ASEAN. Indonesia, you have somebody coming to the forest. Okay, usually this somebody is foreigner, somebody from Western countries. So the Western person in this cartoon goes to the forest and look at some of the samples, and then suddenly go away, nothing. And then finally you see that person ride the airplane and go away. And what happened to the people? The people are left with, oh, what was that? Somebody came and ran away after so long, after collecting information, etc., etc. This is very common in developing countries. ASEAN, Southeast Asia, very, very common. So I think in order to avoid this one, we have to know our rights. The people in the ASEAN, in developing countries, Africa, South America, we should consider, we should assert our rights. So this brings us to a related topic called parachute science. I'm sure some of you have heard about this parachute science. Okay, and well, we're not talking about the actual jumping off the airplane, and no, we are just comparing parachute science with that. So this is a practice wherein the international scientists, usually from the rich countries, okay, they come to the lower income countries and conduct some study. Okay, some of them, they disguise like tourists. They come to your country, but then they collect many things on the side without telling the people in that community. Sometimes no local involvement. And then these people, they go home to their country. They go home to their country and they finish the research. They use their own nice equipment not available in the third world country. They complete their research in their home country without any further communication with people from the source country, from that country. This is happening. Even now, this is happening. Indonesia is one of the classic examples of so many people come to Bali, Java, different parts of Indonesia, and they get all these resources and knowledge and bring it back home to their country. So this is what I call neo-colonial research, neo-colonial research, neo-colonial science. Okay. This is quite true in Southeast Asia because Southeast Asia has been colonized by so many countries in the last how many centuries. So there is what we call a parachute index. What is a parachute index? This is a new term only in the last 5 or 10 years. And there are growing number of papers about this. And some of the papers concern Indonesia. And the parachute index is a numerical value, is the ratio of the publication from that country that includes the local researcher compared to publication from that country, which includes no local researchers. For example, if there are papers that are published, okay, by somebody from Europe, and it is talking about animals or fish in Indonesia, but it does not include any Indonesian authors, then it belongs to the second category of no local researchers. Okay. On the other hand, there are also publications from Europe that involves and includes Indonesian researchers. So that is not parachute science. So the parachute index is the ratio between those non-parachute science and those that are parachute science. And here you can see on this graph, on the right, in the center part of the graph, you can see that a lot of the countries represented by different colors are negative parachute index values, meaning to say there are more publications from that country that are not represented by the local researchers in this particular study, 2021, Raja et al. So I mentioned to you that Southeast Asia in particular, and Africa also, many years ago, these countries have been colonized by different European powers. So here in this map, you can see French, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, British, okay, so many. And we know that Indonesia has been colonized by the Dutch for so many years. and other parts of Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, they were colonized by the French. Malaysia and Myanmar, India, they are colonized by British, and Philippines was colonized by Spain for a long, long time. Okay, having said that, this has become a problem in the last how many years since the independence of the countries which were formerly colonies of these different European countries. One problem is the colonial science. It creates a dependency on external expertise and cripples local research effort, meaning to say, when the colonizers, when the Dutch left Indonesia, when the British left Singapore and Malaysia, when the Spanish left the Philippines, they did not train enough local researchers in order to carry out the research. So until today, many of the countries in ASEAN depend on the external expertise. Okay, that's one. Number two, I think one solution here is developing countries, ASEAN, Africa, South America, should invest in local scientific talent and infrastructure. Earlier, there was somebody who questioned about the mangroves in South Kalimantan, talking about the lack of expertise. Now, this lack of expertise is a real problem. And the solution of this is really to learn by ourselves, well, with some help from abroad. But I think our respective government, the government of Indonesia, the government of Vietnam, Philippines, should prioritize the development of local scientific talent. Okay, I think it's being done now slowly. Many Indonesian young students are sent abroad to study master, to study doctor course, and hopefully when they come back, they can translate the knowledge and transfer the knowledge, share the knowledge with everything, with everybody. And then the local infrastructure should also be developed. So what are these things? These are infrastructure supporting biodiversity research. And I think in Indonesia, you have a good infrastructure, but we still need more. If I ask an Indonesian, how many species of seaweed, rumput laut, do you have in Indonesia? Nobody can give me the answer. Nobody can give me the answer. Nobody knows. Okay? However, the opposite, if you come to Japan and you ask the same question to a researcher, how many seaweed species are there in Japan? Right away, they would say, 1,562. Because they have the researchers, they have the infrastructures. Okay, so something like that. Basic biodiversity research, it should be a priority. Historical collections. Now, we know that to support biodiversity research, we need to have many, many samples for studying. Now, the samples are digitized. It's easy to share, okay? But then it's nice to keep one sample for one species for your research. So that's the function of the museum. So the Herbarium bugoriensis in Bogor is one of the best in Southeast Asia. And it was developed by the Dutch. But then I hope governments of Indonesia will continue to support and continue to increase the collection, because there are still many collections not found in there. Okay. Now there's a joke many years ago. I don't know if the joke is still applicable. They would say, "Oh, I want to study. I'm a researcher. I want to study the seaweed of Spermonde archipelago. Spermonde archipelago is in Makassar. I want to study Spermonde archipelago seaweed. I want to go to Spermonde to collect." No, don't go there. The biggest collection of seaweed from Spermonde is in the Netherlands. Same way as in Vietnam, somebody wants to go to Vietnam and wants to study the plants of Vietnam. Okay, don't go to Vietnam. The biggest collection of plants from Vietnam is in Paris. Don't waste your time, go to Vietnam. Just go to Paris. Same way in the Philippines. I'm a researcher. I want to go to the Philippines. I want to study fish of Philippines. Oh, don't go to Philippines. Go to USA. The biggest collection of fish of the Philippines is in USA. So this is a joke, but I hope it will not be a joke. I mean, I hope we can change that into something positive. We have to develop our own collection. We have to develop our own infrastructure. We can do it. ASEAN countries can do it with the help of human resource, with the help of infrastructure development. This can be done. So in this example here, I got this example from geology. Okay, so the colonial history is really a big factor in the study of biodiversity, especially for those countries with a colonial history. Many African countries, many ASEAN countries have colonial history. Okay, so the study of biodiversity in a country is linked to four things. Okay, so these are the four things. Number one, colonial legacy. So is the colonial country, is the colonizing country helpful? Is it still giving some training? Okay, so what's the legacy of the colonizing country? What's the legacy of Netherlands to researchers in Indonesia? We can ask that one. And then number two, I already mentioned this one, that we have to develop human resources. We have to educate them. We have to have infrastructure development. Number three, which is, I think, not so important, but still important, political stability. So everywhere, what projects we have, there is some kind of political dimension in biodiversity research. Political stability. So is there a civil war going on? So that will affect the researchers. Of course, if I am a foreign researcher, I don't like to go to a country wherein there will be political instability, there will be a war. Or not only that, there will be a like trouble. There's going to be a trouble for me when I go to your country. About 100 years ago, when this is just a quick story, one American went to collect in, I think, in Ternate in Indonesia, and he went to the forest. And of course, he's American, he's white skin and everything. So when he went into the forest, the local people there said, "Oh, it's a white person." Now this is 100 years ago. It's a white person. According to our belief, a white person, according to the belief of that village, a white person is not a good person. So what they did, they went to touch the American, and they killed the American. This is just a short story about what happens. And number 4 is very important, English proficiency. Okay, because ASEAN countries, in order for ASEAN countries to communicate with each other, we need a common language, English, because the Bahasa cannot be understood by people in Vietnam. The Thai language cannot be understood in Malaysia. So you need to have English proficiency. So this is one of the things that we have to address in order to come up with this solution. So another solution that I want to suggest for this talk is what we call open science. Sometimes this is called democratization of science, because for a long, long time, many people believe, oh, this science is only for scientists. I am not scientist. I don't care about science. This is long time ago. But today we should try to change that. We should realize that the knowledge that is available, like values, beliefs, tradition, morality, feelings, behavior, we have to define them very well, because this is very important for scientific knowledge. Okay. Another one is, many people think, and I mentioned this one already, that scientific knowledge and non-scientific knowledge, like lay knowledge, knowledge of people who did not go to school, knowledge of housewife, knowledge of people in the villages, they don't go to the university, they don't have scientific knowledge. These knowledge, these two knowledges are equal. They are equal, very important. I think one will not survive without the other. So they have to collaborate with each other. They are partners in the innovation and the adoption process. So this is one of the goals of open science. So I say that true communication, it is not just sharing information, but you go deeper than that. True communication is about sharing the meaning of the information, achieving a common understanding of the knowledge of the information. Now, I know this is easy to say, but it's difficult to implement, because in ASEAN countries, there is the tradition of sharing is not so popular yet. Okay, and you know, ASEAN countries, there is a lot of division. So, for example, the scientist in Vietnam does not collaborate with a scientist in Indonesia for most of the part. The scientist from Thailand does not collaborate with the scientists from Philippines, for example. They would rather communicate or collaborate with people in the Western countries. Why? Because there are regional differences. There are communication gaps. So we should try to overcome those gaps in order to have a true communication. So I need not speak so much about this, but these are just some of the benefits of open science. Greater collaboration, greater transparency in the research process, okay? Greater visibility of researchers. Before, the researchers are only contented if they publish, but then their results do not go into the community. The results are not used by the fishermen and farmers. So if you have a greater visibility, you will have a greater impact of your research. Okay? And then on the left side, you can see a higher citation rate. Yes, I know now many researchers are concerned about citation rates. Okay, that's also important. Then greater efficiency, because research does not need to be repeated. And this is common in ASEAN countries. Research is often repeated by different universities. Why? Why repeat something already done? Because that university did not share, that university did not publish. So some people think, oh, this research is new, I will do it. But in reality, it's already done. So this is one of the things that open science want to avoid. Okay? So that's why I said there should be inclusivity, not only scientists, but also the people who benefit from science, the people who benefit from biodiversity. Okay, fishermen, farmers, village, local people, etc. Now, what is another problem here in the university? You see, the university gets some money, the research institution gets some money, and this money is used to pay the researchers, pay the faculty members to do the research, if you follow the arrow on the top. And then what is going on now? If you look at the green box, the faculty just give away the article and the copyright to the publisher of the journal for free. And then what happened on the right side? The publisher get all the money because the publisher sell the journal, sell the paper, impose a very high publication subscription. So this one example here is one company in Europe. Their profit exceed the profit of Google. And then if you look at the blue box at the bottom, this is the very sad part, because the faculty give away all the copyright, all the information, but many students, many researchers, and still many other people cannot download the articles because they don't have the license, they don't have the subscription. This is a problem. This is a big problem that open science want to create. Okay, so we already know, slowly, we know already open access. Okay, many of us, we can already download and then we can already use some of these articles. Another problem is, and I think this is very popular problem, is predatory publishing. Okay, so here you can see that on the right side, you can see that the number of journals is increasing, but you can also see the red bars that the number of predatory journals are also increasing. Why? Because the people behind the predatory journals realize there is big money in publishing predatory articles. Okay, we will not talk more about that because that's beyond the scope, but I can give you another lecture about this problem later. So I'd like to end my talk by issuing some challenges for our scientists and researchers, especially in developing countries. I would like to repeat and I would like to reiterate that I think it is necessary to develop, to maintain, foster homegrown research manpower and expertise. So I would say study of Indonesian natural resources should prioritize Indonesian researchers. Same way as study of Vietnamese resources should prioritize Vietnamese researchers. We have to develop homegrown research manpower and expertise. And I think this is one of the goals of Semeo Biotrop, to which I salute this organization. This one is also important. We have to get a commitment from our government. Okay, we have to get a commitment from our government to support manpower development, to support infrastructure development. We have to get sponsors from private sector. Okay, this has been done in developed countries. They have a telecommunication company sponsoring, petroleum company sponsoring research, financial institutions promoting biodiversity research. I think in Indonesia, there are many companies that you can ask to support. And of course, we need to ask the government, the central government, the provincial government. Okay? So you just have to convince them that, hey, biodiversity is very important. Biodiversity is very necessary research. And then go back to open science. We should encourage open science among the researchers. Okay? So I think Semeo Biotrop, being a regional organization, can take the initiative to sponsor dialogue and to sponsor trainings and whatever among researchers from ASEAN countries. And then after doing that, they can connect with society in general. Another one that I will suggest is we try to increase public science literacy through popular science journalism. What does that mean? It means we have to let the people, especially the non-scientists, know about the importance of biodiversity, for example. In this seminar, we talk about blue economy. How many people in Indonesia know or heard about blue economy? Maybe just a few. So we can increase awareness among the people, lay people, non-scientist people, through popular science journalism. What's that? It means we try to write some articles that will explain certain things in a very easy way and then publish it widely in the newspaper, in the internet. Okay, for example, very common example, climate change, global warming. Within the scientific community, we talk about that. Within the scientific community, we already know many things about that. But outside, you ask the fisherman, you ask the farmer, do you know climate change? Do you know global warming? Many of them probably will not know. So we need to increase the literacy. Literacy means knowledge of science among the public through popular science journalism. Okay, and I think Semeo Biotrop is also doing something like that. They have a website and they have these things, different things. But I suggest that maybe some of the items in the site are translated into Bahasa Indonesia, for example, in order to reach greater audience. It must be translated to knowledge in the different ASEAN countries in order to go down deeper into the community. And yes, and finally, I think by letting them know about scientific information, we can get the support of the general public. Okay, so if we can explain to them about this environment, if we can explain to them about COVID-19, Why is it like that? Why is it necessary? Do we have to have a mask? Like that, like that. Very complicated topics. If we can make these complicated topics easy to understand, then these people are going to support the work of the scientists. You know, here in Japan, when we get money from research agencies in Japan, we are always reminded that every penny, every yen, every small amount of money come from taxpayers' money. Always, we are always reminded. Yes, without the taxpayer money, the researchers cannot move, cannot have some research. So the government in Japan always remind. Okay. Same thing in the ASEAN countries. I think our scientists need to be reminded. But of course, there are many other factors that need to be considered. So by suggesting open science, inclusivity, I think we can let the knowledge about biodiversity help the different countries of ASEAN. Okay, we know already that ASEAN countries are among the top biodiversity rich countries around the world. So the next challenge is how to make these resources from ASEAN countries become sustainable and become beneficial to the people in ASEAN and not beneficial to people in the developed countries in the Europe or North America. No, I think ASEAN countries work hard for ASEAN people. And this is one of the messages that I want to share with you this morning. Okay, so I think this is the end. Thank you very much for giving me this chance to talk. And thank you to our audience for listening. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Lawrence. Big applause for Prof. Lawrence about the very, very interesting presentation about the biodiversity, bioprospecting, and the hot issues, I think. What you said about the biopiracy. This very, very interesting topics, not only in Asia, maybe, all of the world, I think, have a similar problem. Okay, for the audience, just please, if you have the question, we have the plenty time to discuss about the many things what has Prof. Lawrence present. Just please, you can raise hand or maybe starting from the offline class. Any question, please? Yeah, just please from the Mr. Alvin, right? Yeah, just please, Mr. Alvin.
Okay, check. Okay, so I'm interested about biopiracy, that taking a million of incomes and profit from applying for patents to claim knowledge. So my question is how the biopiracy works. I mean that the patents work. And my second question about the biopiracy is a serious threat, especially for Indonesia that have mega biodiversity. So how do we anticipate this problem?
Okay, just please, Prof. Lawrence.
Thank you very much. It is well, two questions that will need one whole day to to answer. Anyway, patents. These are. I'm sure that in Indonesia, in all countries, we have the patent office. So this is usually a government office that you apply, and you have to submit a document outlining the nature of the discovery that you have. So you submit this proposal into the patent office, and the patent office will conduct an investigation. Is it really original? Is it really new? Okay, so once they determine that this is original and this is a very useful product, something like that, they give you the patent. Now, if they give you the patent, usually from you are given number of years. For example, some countries they give you a patent for 50 years. Okay, so depends on the country. Some country 99 years, some country 20 years. Now, what does that mean? It means that if one company or one individual wants to use your discovery, this individual must pay you some fee, some permission fee, a patent fee. Well, we call it royalty. For example, here in Hiroshima University, we have one laboratory. The research in the laboratory is about antivirus hand wash, hand wash. And what they discover is they use a certain fruit, the juice of the fruit, they mix with something and they apply it to the patent. And the patent office said, oh, this is very good discovery. This is a very useful discovery. We'll give you a patent license. So one day, one company, Japanese company, said, oh, we want to use your technology and we want to manufacture commercial hand wash solution. Okay, sure. So they apply for the commercial utilization. And up to now, the Hiroshima University received, let's say, for every bottle of the hand wash, we receive $1. So there is a share, see, until 50 years, another example. So after 50 years, the patent is gone. So everybody can use that formula, recipe to make the hand wash. No need to pay the Hiroshima University. So the same is true in your case. If you have found something, you right away go to the patent office and get a license so that your discovery will not be stolen by other people. So we need to have that kind of knowledge. Okay? Some of us may have some discovery, but we did not apply right away. Okay? There are so many cases. Okay? For example, in the Philippines, there is a product called ilang-ilang. Okay, ilang-ilang is a kind of flower, and they did not patent. So now the ilang-ilang patent is owned by Chanel perfume, and so they don't have to pay anyone. So because they own the patent, so they manufacture the Chanel perfume. No need to pay the Philippines. Philippines is a source of the plant, of the flower. Okay, that's just one example. The second question is about serious threat. Okay. Okay, so if I understand the question correctly, biodiversity can be protected from serious threat, not by the patent, but by the CBD. The CBD. But the problem with the CBD, okay, the problem with the CBD, some countries do not follow the CBD because they are, for example, politically strong country. I'm a rich country. I don't need to follow that rule. And then the other problem is some country do not follow, some companies do not follow because of they don't follow the ethical considerations. So they will say, oh, I ask permission. This is just from one island in the Pacific Ocean. I don't need to tell them. They will not know. So this is a problem. And the serious threat could happen if without the CBD rules, the company could send so many people, collectors, collecting these different things. And you know, if some company, for example, try to get a flower in, let's say, Maluku, and then the people in Maluku don't know about the importance of this flower because they don't have the knowledge. They are not scientifically literate. So the company will go to Maluku and just say, okay, I will just buy this flower for you. One flower I give 100 rupiah, something like that. Of course, the people they say, oh, okay, I'll collect so many so that I will have many rupiah. Not realizing that this is depleting the resources. So we have to educate our people in order for CBD to be successful in a country. So we need to spread the knowledge about the scientific literacy. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. If there are more questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Is clear, Mr. Alvin? Yes. Okay, thank you. There are in the chat books the question from the Miss Lin Ratu Uju from Undana. Refer to your expression. The production of the animal protein contributes about the 14.5% of the global total gas emission or GLK, which contribute to global warming. What is the strategy to overcome this, Prof? Yeah, just please.
Okay, thank you for that question. Again, it is a very important question. If you ask some people, they would say, try to follow vegetarian. No, don't eat the meat. That's the easiest answer. Because if you don't eat the meat, overall the general demand for meat products will go down. And it's a law of economics. If the demand will go down, maybe the supply will go down, maybe the price will go down. Okay, so that's an easy way to answer that question. I think the other answer I can give to that is mitigation. Mitigation. Right now, there are researchers, they have found that feeding some of the cattle, some of the cow, some kind of seaweed, it can reduce the greenhouse gas, especially the methane, CH4. That's a very good research from Australia. But the problem is the kind of seaweed that you introduce into the cow food is very hard to find. The problem is if you can find this seaweed in the wild, they can only be so small biomass. And of course, the company, if they want to harvest the seaweed, they harvest everything. And of course, we know that that will contribute to the depletion of the natural resource. So right now, there's a lot of research going on how to propagate this seaweed artificially in the tank and in aquarium. But the technology is still far away from perfecting this one. So this is an ongoing effort. Okay, this is an ongoing effort. So if we, I mean, many of the local people, ordinary people, they eat meat, they eat beef, but many of them do not eat the beef, not because they want to stop the global warming. No, many of them do not eat the meat because meat is more expensive. Okay, especially in ASEAN countries, a lot of them do not use the beef. They just use the vegetarian. They just use vegetable, affordable. Yeah? But this is a very important information that I think we should share with everyone in our community. Okay, so I hope I answered that question.
Yes. Thank you, Prof. This very
You're welcome.
I think it's very good question. Any question from audience from the online or offline room? Okay, from Miss Ratna Skar Arum, just please you open your mic and just
okay, please.
Your
Yes.
question, please. Please,
Go
Miss
ahead.
Ratna, you
I
can
can see
open
you.
your mic.
Thank you, sir. My name is Ratna Skararo. I'm from entomology, the Faculty of Agriculture. I think I am the only one who have a different background here with everyone who attend here. But my question is about science. I'm really curious. Is there any strategies can be used to promote long-term integrated multidisciplinary collaborations?
Your question is there any long-term arrangement for long-term collaboration?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I think Professor Imran can answer that better. Me, from my standpoint, I always advocate for ASEAN collaboration. In fact, most of my students in Japan come from ASEAN countries. And I believe that by developing a network of especially young ASEAN researchers and young ASEAN scientists, I think the future for ASEAN would be better. We should promote more communication among the different countries. But then, as I mentioned earlier, we have some problems. One problem is not major problem, but English proficiency. Okay, we need to have some good cooperation. And then the other problem that is probably a little bit serious is regional division. I already cited that the fish biologist in one country does not know the fish biologist of another ASEAN country. This is very common. Okay, very common. Just like me, I try to bridge different seaweed researcher, rumput laut researcher, rumpay laut from different countries. So now I have a network in Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, then growing, starting Indonesia, Makassar. I think this one is a very good start, and I wish there is more support. Okay, there is a Semio Biotrop they can support. There is a ASEAN Center for Biodiversity they can also support. So it needs some kind of leadership among the young people to take up this cause. Because if the ASEAN scientists are disorganized, the people in the Western countries are very happy. Why? Because they are fighting with each other. The ASEAN scientists are fighting each other, competing with each other, competing. So the scientists from outside ASEAN, they said, oh, see, they need us. We should go there and ask them. So it goes back to the cycle. Maybe sometimes biopiracy, sometimes parachute science, sometimes colonial science. So it is a problem. It could be a problem. I don't have a real single answer for that. I think this problem could be approached in different approaches. Could be addressed by many methods, and this is one. And I think Semeo Biotrop, they have many kinds of workshop training. Okay, start with training from different areas of Indonesia. I know Indonesia is so big, so maybe in Indonesia, the scientist from Java does not know the scientist from Sulawesi because it's so big. Yeah? So we have to bring them all together. Many years ago, when Dr. Imran was still in Hiroshima University, I already mentioned this many times, that I would volunteer. I go to Indonesia to meet all the young people who are interested in rumput laut, and give the training right there. But we have not talked about it, so we have not pursued that idea. But that's just one small step. Okay, that's just one small step. And I think it's a positive direction. And this cannot solve the problem immediately, but it can start there already. Okay, so I hope that is all right answer for you. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Lawrence. We have still time. If you have the other question, just please. Because we have also participant from the Southeast Asia. I think it's very good if from the participant from Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam to deliver the question, because this is very interesting discussion, I think. And
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, we can also this is started from the collaboration, I think, because the collaboration is important. Okay, there are one participant, Miss Tita, raise hand to ask the question. Just please, Miss Tita.
Oh, hello. Hello, Miss. Hello, Prof. Lawrence.
Hello. Hello.
I'm sorry for the first. I'm not have a background in biological, but
it's all right. It's okay.
But I am a social economic background in marine fisheries. So, I interesting with your rules, 3 of your rules about the fair and sharing a benefit from CBD. Yes, of course, we can connect it with biodiversity, and it causes by different implementation about knowledge and research. Okay, and the other side, yes, you already know about Indonesian problem. I mean, when somebody cannot access the articles, this is the other side, and you decide the open
science.
Yeah, open science in one of the conclusion for the best. We have pattern in Indonesia, we call in bahasa haki. I ever know haki can submit by local communities or university, or the other side, and I'm from the university. But if the research of, if the articles, no, if the research running by academia or universities, maybe it will give more less benefit for the local community. So as my background from social economic, I wanna you for telling about a success story in Japan, maybe about how can the local communities get more benefit when they submit their knowledge by themselves, not using the university or the institution or something like this.
Okay.
So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tita. Okay. I cannot find any example from Japan, but the most popular example now come from New Zealand. In New Zealand, they have fishermen and traditional people, traditional villages, okay, the Maori. So what happened is that when the scientists go into their village in order to explore their ecosystem, and they come up with some kind of discovery, and these academic people will publish the result. And the names of the village chief or the village leader will also become a co-author of the publication. So it is becoming a sharing of credit sharing. So the same way when they submit a patent, they can include the name of the chief of the village. They can include the name of the medicine man, for example, into that document. So this is really a benefit sharing, following the suggestion of the CBD, because some people in the long history before, they would say, "Oh, I'm the scientist. I claim this one. The others, oh, they don't care about this one. I just give them a little money and they will keep quiet." Not anymore. So we should try to involve the local community, because the local community is the source of our information. The scientist is not the source of the information, but the scientist is simply a facilitator of this knowledge to bring it out from the village into the international global community. You see? So our idea, our definition is changing because of these changing times, because of these different rules, especially the CBD rules. Okay? So this is one. There are many other ways. Yeah, please, follow-up question, please.
Okay.
Mute.
Okay, just unmute your mic. You can. Okay, wait.
Now, okay.
Okay. In local community perception, maybe it is a pure local communication. I mean not academician from New Zealand, not, but it is ibu-ibu or bapak-bapak nelayan like this. In their perception, being a co-owner, it is not give benefit from them. I mean how we can sharing a little penny money
okay.
for this.
I see your point. Because for the local people, of course, the financial is very important. So under CBD, you can have some kind of permit system, to apply for the permit. And within the permit system, there is already one section that will specify what is the percentage of the share of each one. So just like the patent will collect how much for the use of each product. So the percentage of that collection of money goes to the patent owner. Okay, so if you involve the community to become partner patent holders, then the community can benefit financially, not only in terms of honor or famous, you know, because I know that's not so practical for other people. It's the penny, it's the money. I understand that one. Yep, very important. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
if you
enough.
need more information, I can give you some information later about that.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. It's very, very interesting discussion. Yeah, maybe any question?
Another one, yeah.
Yeah. Just please. Okay. Okay. We have the question from Miss Sri Ismayani. Just please.
Ismawati.
Yeah. And after that, continue to Mr. Sulistionoli. I think we can have two questions, Prof. Yes.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Professor Lawrence. Yeah, I am so interested in listening to the discussion following your presentation, and it opens up my mind that it's kind of a shifting mindset, right? From thinking that scientist is the owner of the knowledge, but eventually, or in fact, the local people is the owner of the knowledge. So I think, and I am relating this to the writing on the banner of this webinar, the road to the International Conference on Tropical Biology that will be held by Simio Biotrop sometimes this year or next year. And I am thinking about probably, and I'm hoping your response from the response from Prof. Lawrence, that usually the ICTB, we call it International Conference on Tropical Biology, is attended by scientists, by the government officials, something like that. And then maybe in the fourth ICTB, the leader of the local community can be invited to attend, and probably they can present their, like you said, their local biodiversity. I don't know if it is plant, animal, fish, everything that they have in their local community, so that we can start or maybe follow up, not start, but because I know the Simio Biotrop has already so many data based on herbarium, for example, and then also fungi and so on. And I believe seaweed also. And but probably following up to those database, and we can also develop a more comprehensive database by using the knowledge from local communities, by inviting the leader of the community, probably. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a very, very good suggestion. That's one of the things I mean when I said democratization of science. Science is not only for scientists, but science is for everyone. So we have to democratize. We have to make the science user-friendly to everyone. We have to let the people understand that the science also concerns you, concerns your community. So this is a message that we scientists, we in the academia should try to inculcate, should try to invite these people to get involved. So your suggestion is very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Okay, continue to Mr. Sulistionoli. Just please open your mic, or just please to open the mic from the technician.
Go ahead, please. Okay, open your mic. You're mute, Solistiono, Mr. Solistiono. Okay, go.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Lawrence. Thank you for this opportunity. I am Sulistiona, and now I'm joining the internship program in one of the most biggest mining company in Indonesia. And I think my question is too specific. My question is, I want to ask about the predatory and the reliable in cumulative number of journals launched. As you mentioned before, um, most likely this problem cannot be avoided. But at the same time, this problem also affects biodiversity, the bioprospecting, inclusivity, and science for all. So my question is, what can we do about it? And what are the solutions or maybe problem solving that you can explain or convey about this? So I think that's my question.
Okay, thank you, thank you. You have asked a very important question and difficult to answer. So the problem about this is everywhere, no? Everywhere. And I think one solution is awareness. Awareness. We should be aware that these publications are fake publications. We should be aware that these are unethical publications. But many people turn a blind eye. They just close their eyes. As long as they are going to publish, it's okay for them. I don't care about predator or not predator. So it also involves our personal honesty, personal integrity. Okay. So if that's the case, I think we need to educate people about this. You asked me about how to avoid this one. I mean, we can talk for 1 week about this because there are so many things to consider about this. This problem has very deep roots. So in order to address this problem, we need to go down into the root cause of this problem. This problem has become big and sometimes not manageable anymore because there are so many people who want to benefit from this without thinking of honesty, without thinking of integrity. So I think it's very easy to say that this one is a moral issue, but it's more than that. Okay, I'm sorry, I cannot go into so many of these details, but in Japan, I teach a class about research, and one of the things that we talk about is research ethics, research integrity. I've been invited also webinar in Indonesia and Philippines and Vietnam to talk about this issue. And this issue, so many people don't like to listen to this issue, especially those people who benefit from this. They don't like, So in one of my seminar about this, one of the questions addressed to me was, why are you become so against this publication? I said, oh, sorry, So people will hate me for telling the truth, you see. And sadly, this is the reality in developing countries, especially also in Japan. There are some instances that people support this kind of publication. So I'm glad you raised up this question, but I'm sorry I cannot address this totally. It's if you want, I can send you some papers to read about this. Because this is something that we should be concerned about, especially the young researchers, because many of the people who are doing this are the senior ones, the middle level researchers. And what is so sad is that the young people look at these middle researchers as model. So this is a problem that will not go away unless somebody will say stop. Okay, but very few people will say that. Okay, so thank you. Maybe we can have some more talk about that
Yes.
another time. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Lawrence and Mr. Sulistiono. It's very interesting discussion. I think it's
Thank you.
Issues. I hope will become our awareness also about what have discussed. Yeah, I would like to listen from the Philippines. Maybe Dr. Cherry Ultra from UAP. You have maybe suggestion, question, or anything to our discussion this afternoon? Yes, please. Or our colleague from the Philippines, just please, if you have the question, maybe suggestion. Any question? Okay, if not, maybe from me, Prof. Lawrence. I
Go
interested
ahead,
about your
please.
question about
Go
how
ahead.
we deliver the result of our result. But sometimes we have problem with the to getting the best journal. For example, if our publication it will be have attention from the reader, if we can accept it to the reputation journal. For example, if we accept it to the Q1, Q2, but the problem is for the accepted to the Q1 or Q2 journal, we should be pay big money. That's problem for as the researcher. How about the issues, Prof? Just please.
Okay, thank you for that question. I always tell my students that not all researches are publishable. Okay, so if our results are not interesting or nothing to contribute, then don't expect to be accepted by the journal. Okay, so I think that is a first priority, the quality of the research. But then many people give the excuse like, oh, my research paper was rejected. So that journal is very, very difficult. That journal is very high standard. Okay, high standard is good. Okay, difficult editorial policy is good. If your research is good, then there will be no problem. It will go through. It will accept. Okay. Some people will say, "Oh, because it's so expensive." Not exactly, because there are journals. There are journals that will accept you without payment. Especially you come from the developing country. You can always request something like that if they see that your paper is very good and very relevant. Okay, so we should put aside all those excuses and focus on our research. Okay, because I'm a member of the editorial board in one of the Indonesian journals, and my comment to them is that all of these research that you have, you submit, these are all from your students, and the students, of course, they don't have enough experience, so they need the guidance of the professors, of the advisors, in order to make the chances of acceptance in international journal higher. So what happened is that before this is another story. I was an editor of one journal, and one of the authors, he was the dean of one big university. He said, "Oh, your journal is very difficult." I said, "Oh, because," and I reply. I said, "We have some standards." Okay, so please help your faculty members, your researchers, to improve the paper so that it will be accepted by our journal. And then the dean just said, oh, no, 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 that is not the solution. Our solution is we make our own journal. I said, oh, I'm sorry, that is not the solution. So for many people around the developing countries, ASEAN included, there are just so many journals that the quality is not maintained. No? So this is one problem. No? I'm sorry if some of you, you know about this, but it is a reality. Yeah. So if we make our research very good in the first place, I don't think there is a problem to submit and be accepted in foreign journal, international high impact Q1, Q2, no problem. Especially if your research come from one island in Indonesia that nobody has done that, nobody has visited that island before, and you found something, oh, they will accept. Yeah?
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Maybe from Dr. Zulhamsa, you have maybe suggestion or maybe discussion is very interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Widodo. I just want to give some feedback. I think the first one, I think about I agree with the Professor Lauren about the English professors. When I came to the Hiroshima University, I studied a lot with you how to increase my capacity in English. And finally, I can do it because every day I try to study and learn about how to increase my capacity to speak in English. Yeah. So no, I think we need to encourage our student. Yeah, our student in the Asian country to speak in English. So be careful. Maybe when we will propose about the Malayu or maybe Bahasa, maybe Thai language to be our one language in the Asian country, because we know that to promote the one language to be a regional language, we will learn every day about our language, maybe Bahasa, Tagalog, and then Malayu. So I think please be globally thinking, globally thinking, because we know that international communicate will be used English every day. We will use English every day. So I always encourage you all of students, to increase your capacity in English. I know that MSIB, for example, we really do invite all of you to attend this international webinar, for example. Every opportunities, always, not only webinar, and also, for example, spring course. We at least we invite 4 of the participant of the MSCB to attend and then communicate one each other with the student in the Hiroshima University, and also for the international speaker. So, and this is the first one, I think. I know that we need to increase our capacity every day. Even every day, just remind one word every day. Just write down in your book, in your notebook every day, at least 100 times. Remains, for our vocabulary. And then the second one, I would like to deliver some information about the biodiversity network. We know that we have not only the CIMIO Biotrop is really high concern about the biodiversity research, education, literacy, not only for Indonesia but also in regional countries. And then we also have the Asian Biodiversity Center. So I think it's my recommendation. We need to connect with the Asian Biodiversity, and then to discuss about some collaboration, how to arrange our network in the Southeast Asia.
Of course.
Maybe last 3 years I visit the Davao region in the Philippines, and then we agree that we will develop the ASEAN Biodiversity Education Network. Maybe I will invite, not only in the Davao but also Indonesia, and then other country in the Southeast Asia to conduct one. In the first one, we need to dialogue forum among the researchers. Which one, which issue need to address, and then how to manage our network, because nowadays we have many network about the biodiversity, including the global network about the biodiversities. Yeah, so we need to connect one each other, and then especially in the Southeast Asia country, yeah, we need to overcome what kind of the issue need to give a solution. Yeah, need to give solution in Southeast Asia, for example. Yeah. And then the last one feedback come up from this forum. Simio Biotrop has at least 3 publications,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
3 publications and also 1 special publication. Yeah. I would like to invite all of you to send your scientific manuscript, of
Yes.
course, yeah, to send to the Biotropia, for example, because Biotropia is international journal, and then Sintawan, yeah, indexes.
Yes.
Yeah, we know that Q3, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
Q3, yeah, please send to us, yeah. We also put the high quality, of course, yeah, Professor. Yeah. And then the second one, we also have the Biodiverse magazine, scientific science. Yeah, yeah, we can read down in that magazine also. Yeah, because this magazine also already issued at least three numbers, right?
3 numbers.
2 volume and 3 numbers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, please go to the website, our website. Yeah. And then the other ones we have also BioCourier. Yeah. Please,
BioCourier,
yeah.
yes.
If you have the look like the activities related to the community. Yeah.
Yes.
The community, please send to
communities.
us, and then we will publish all your manuscript. I think so.
Yeah.
That's one, I think. I'm really happy today because we need to discuss a lot about the biodiversity, bioprospecting, and then biopolicy. Yeah, I know that 2 hours is not enough to discuss all.
Yes.
Yeah, I promise I will arrange another discussion, another international webinar. I will invite many researchers, many scientists come from not only from the Japan but also from the Australia, and then Norwegia, Czechoslovakia, USA, yeah, to share their knowledge to us, to encourage us. The young generation in the Southeast Asia should be to be lead in the scientists. Yeah, we know that nowadays the presidential of the ASEAN Indonesia, we promise to how Indonesia will be a epicenter growth of the economic in Indonesia.
Yes.
I believe that the biodiversity, one of the resources can be contribute how to increase our economic, because we know that no dichotomy between the biodiversity and the blue economy.
Yeah.
That's all, I think, Dr. Widodo.
Thank you,
from me.
Dr. Zulham. Maybe there are the last word from Prof. Lawrence before we finish our session. Just please.
Of course, I want to thank Dr. Solham Shah Imran for this nice opportunity. And I'd like to thank everyone for contributing, inputting their ideas. I'll be very happy if my talk this morning will stimulate your thinking and let you think outside the box. I would be happy that if some of the things I discussed this afternoon, this morning, will be pursued further by you, because honestly, the bioprospecting, the open science, all of these concerns people in the developing countries. If we pursue this one, it will be beneficial to us in the long run. Okay? Because the developing countries in ASEAN, for example, you hold the natural resources in your hands. And by patrimony, you see, I mentioned this, that we should develop our Indonesian manpower, for example, infrastructure for studying Indonesian, and try to rely less and less with outside countries, for example. It can be done. It's not impossible. It can be done. And webinars like this and organizations like Semeo Biotrop, they can be facilitators towards this goal. And I think we need more young people to commit. And before they can commit, of course, they have to understand these are the benefits, these are the stakes, these are the things that need to be done. And if they understand the vision, I think it will follow that the right steps will come in, the good plans will follow, and in the end, we can realize this one self-dependency and becoming self-sustaining in all our activities. Okay, so I think that's all, and I thank you again for your questions and everything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and big applause for Professor Lawrence Liao, our resource person today. Yeah, I just would like to underline the two sentences. One from the Prof. Ferdinand Yulianda is actually no contradiction between the conservation and the utilization for the economic development and growth. And from the Prof. Lawrence Liao, I just underline, and this is maybe our quote today's: the science is not for the scientists, the science is for all. Thank you for your attention, science in the morning and until afternoon. And just I would like to say, no biodiversity, no life. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much. I give the time from the master of the ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Widodo, and big applause to our moderator today, Pak Slamet Widodo and Dr. Zulhamsyah. But before, we have a certificate of appreciation to our speakers. So please, Mas Indra. Thank you, Prof. Lawrence M. Liao, to be a speaker for today. This is our certificate from Semeo Biotrop to the speakers.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, Prof.
Terima kasih.
And we have the certificate for our moderator. So please share appreciation certificate for moderator, Mas Indra, please. The first slide. Applause for our speakers and moderators today, and thank you for all the participants who joined this event, and see you at the next webinar. But before, we have a photo session, so please, for the participant, could turn on your camera to take a photo with our speakers. That we look that Prof. Leo wear batik, I think.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Prof, for wearing a batik. So please, for the participant, open your camera and take a group photo. 1, 2, 3. Click and the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you everyone and participant who joined this meeting, and see you at the next event. And this is the part of Road to Conference for International Conference on Tropical Biology for ICTB that will be held on the end of the year. And don't forget to join our conference and see you at the next event. I'm Alia and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Untuk teman-teman yang di sini boleh ke depan untuk foto bersama. Ya, boleh langsung ke depan. Oh, bagi dua. Oke, sayap sebelah ini dulu. Okay, and for the Prof level, thank you for your attendance, and you can leave if you have another agenda. Thank you, Prof. See you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Prof.
Thank you. Thank you very much.